of the African Esports Championship 2024 in Casablanca, Morocco. So happy to be with you as always with the first match that we all saw with that victory of the Tunisian team 2-0 versus Namibia. So Tunisia has secured their spot for the next round. Let's see what Egypt gonna do or what South Africa gonna do, because they will be competing against each other for the next match. Best of 3. Let's see who's gonna be joining Tunisia in the next round between two of the most prolific African esports nation. So guys, please be ready to watch that game with us. I'm gonna let you with our expert casters to see who's gonna be joining Tunisia between Egypt and South Africa. Casters, you're live.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us here. We have got our second best of 3 of the day. It's South Africa taking on Egypt. Now, this is two pretty titan sort of nations when it comes to Counter-Strike in this continent, right? South Africa have always been a region producing a hell of a lot of some of the best players that we've got. I mean, even now, right? Some of the best players over in North America are descended from South Africa, and Egypt on the other side, great in the qualifiers, so like a really, really solid team. Definitely one that South Africa cannot sleep on. This is our bracket, of course. We've already had Namibia, who have been dropped down now into the 3rd place match. Tunisia have moved on in towards that final, and of course, they've booked their spots to the World Esports Championships already. That's the bare minimum. So they've got that locked in. We saw them taking their pictures afterwards. It was quite cute. They were taking their pictures with the flag and stuff because they know what they've done. They've qualified to the big final itself, and now we get to book in one more team to join them. Of course, that final will sort of just be for bragging rights and also maybe a little bit of seeding, but it will not affect. But whoever makes it through from Egypt and South Africa in this game will also be going to the World Esports Championships.
Yeah, so much on the line, a lot of experience, a lot of travel, and obviously the chance to compete, you know, with some of the best that are represented here at IESF. I think it's going to be really exciting to see. Yeah, South Africa, I mean, we know it's a country that is just generally a lot more involved in esports over the years, like more and more people. You know, both working, yourself in front of the camera, like you've got a lot of those people now, but also talent being sort of shipped around the world in different games. Like, it's kind of cool to see. I think it's really awesome. So, yeah, this is the lineup that we've got. I'm excited to see these guys play. I want to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. From what I've been told as well, a couple of people to keep an eye out for towards this one. Slash is being one that somebody has been mentioned to me. Tristanaxa as well is someone also that we do have to keep an eye on coming in towards this game. But South Africa as a whole is definitely a region that's produced a hell of a lot of talent. These guys play under the organization called Kitsune as well, and apparently pretty solid domestically.
Okay, we've got Egypt here with the lineup. We know them a little bit from the online qualifier where they did play very well. I mean, Bingo, I think, was like the guy we knew coming into was going to be strong. But I remember Alone having some really sick moments too, and maybe a couple of new places or faces that you know that have sort of been swapped out and out from the online qualifier. I think
so. Hoffman seems new to me off the top of my head. The reason why he seems so new is because I've got a friend called Hoffman, and I would have been a laugh. I would have been a laugh at that. That's his gamer tag as well. So I would have definitely laughed at that at the time. But yeah, I also remember B2K had a couple of moments where he played a lot of those anchor and support roles, but actually did a really good job when it came towards setting themselves up when it comes towards clutches. But as a whole, we just know Egypt are actually a pretty strong side coming towards this. They were the top in their group over in towards Group B. Obviously, they only had 3 teams there. They were also alongside Namibia, who finished 2nd in that group. And we know Egypt to be a pretty strong team. They dominated their side of the group, didn't pick up a single loss, didn't drop a map at all over in towards Group B. So definitely pretty scary. South Africa did finish 2nd, which I think in itself is a little bit of a surprise. They ended up losing out to Tunisia in a 3-map thriller over there as well. Went all the way down to the 3rd, and from what I was saying, it was 13-10, I think, in that 3rd map as well. Tunisia just pipped them at the post. But from what we know, so far, South Africa, the only team throughout the open qual, the domestic quals, the open quals are now on LAN here to even just take a map of Tunisia, which if we know Tunisia being this super scary side that everybody should be keeping an eye out for, if South Africa taking a map for them, that's pretty respectful.
It is, yeah. I mean, the competition's really sharpening up now. We're getting into the game. It's going to be an Anubis to begin with. It's South Africa versus Egypt. I'm excited for this one. It's going to be South Africa. It looks like starting on the CT side, with Egypt going to be on the T side to begin with.
Yeah, and this is probably the only map where you actually can't get an estimate of whose map it is. Normally, if you start T side, it's your map pick, right? But Anubis is the only map which is inherently T-sided, so a lot of teams actually prefer to start there. So who knows? We'll keep an eye out for for that a little bit later down the line. First fight, we take my dead shot up close, and he gets caught by FaZe on the drive-by. Good for one, alone for a second as well, as he's starting to get some space up here. He might catch the backpack player, and he will. Down goes Exi, and this is not the site. Awesome. Tough job in a 1v3.
I love the speed coming out here from Egypt. Like, they're so aggressive toward a dark position. You can tell that they were just not really ready for it there. A little bit overwhelmed, shooting the USP at range along with a nice shot there. Takes down Awesome. Yeah. And it's Egypt on the board really early on, winning the pistol here. And on the T side of Anubis, that is a big deal.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good to see early doors. Egypt set the tone, start this T side off well, really get up in their face as well. So I'm a big fan of this. South Africa for them, I'd assume not much of a force pad to come through. He's actually got it towards a Deagle. I don't mind a Deagle pickup here because you still have money to get in towards like some FAMAS or an MP9 in towards the next. Anything more, if you had half armor or any util, that's when we start actually asking a few questions. But this is a low buy. South Africa not really putting too much of an investment towards this one. Just a couple of Deagles and a little bit of a gamble stack. I say little bit. Only 3 players over towards the side. This should be, for the most part, pretty comfortable for Egypt to get a 2-0 start. I say that, Awesome. Gets a couple of successful tags off, but we'll dip away in and through the flames. The nade, done a little bit more damage as well. Mac10 wants to get up in their face, and that is kill bonus, baby. Wesso adding a kill to his tally, and of course the money in the bank.
You see how much more careful they're being on both sides to not stay in like extended fights. Like, it's very much like a little volley, you dip away. You're like it's a very different game from like one that we just saw between Tunisia and Namibia, where it's a lot more like engaged, like you fight to the death every single time. Like, this seems like it's a little bit of a higher sense than that. Wow, boost in the corner, slash, strong headshot, gets a second, takes down Bingo. That's how it's done now. It's a 3 versus 3 here. South Africa with a chance maybe to do a little bit more work. You could see they're dropping a bit low there on the T side. B2K is already dropped, but yeah, they're all very low on the I can't believe it. Are they really all on 7 health? No way.
21 HP across the 3 of them. Kind of ridiculous. Well, it might still give it a chance here. They're going to play off the back of each other. They've got a Mac10 to work with too. It's not exactly an impossible situation. B2K's low. The only issue is Alone and FaZe both aren't. Deadshot going to find one more though. That Mac10 gets active. Bomb will go down, but this round still on tenterhooks here. There might still be a chance. They're waiting for this smoke to fade. That's the right way to play it. Don't overextend. Don't jump for a smoke when you're so low. You can't really afford any sort of a fight. And the one nade that they did have for Egypt used inefficiently.
All right, here's the cleanup. That's why the lack of health there is a little bit of a problem. Alone able to clean it up, and you look at the last one as well. So it's a nice triple for him. They save the round on the Egyptian side, which is very important, but yeah, still, that should give you some respect early on. You're like, all right, we actually almost could have lost that round.
Yeah, exactly. I think, it'll be a sigh of relief they took it, but I think on the other side, South Africa probably look at that and say, hey, that actually wasn't too bad, right? We made that pretty expensive with such a minimal investment, and it means that they get a pretty comfortable investment towards the next. I mean, bar the MP9, but you just want to have a little bit of extra util on hand, and I think most importantly, also a kit to work with. Exi knows that kit, in some sense, is super important. He's got to just try and play in a bit of the thick of it, and he will be. He's on towards this sort of B side, so should be fine in that sense. First true look into what these sides will look like with full guns. It's more or less a similar buy across both sides. This will be a really good indicator. South Africa were so scary, it seemed, in the groups. We didn't actually get to catch them, but seemed to be a very, very prolific side in the groups, bar, of course, that lost 3rd map against Tunisia. So you look at them as probably one of the potentials, maybe even arguably, I would say, in terms of definitely the conversations we've had here and the comparisons and all the rest of people who are a little bit more familiar with the region, they seem to see South Africa as the favorites here. And of course, our understanding is that it's more of the same.
Yeah, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Just from what we know about esports of the region and everything else. I think it's not unreasonable. Under a minute now, taking some strong mid control here. Egypt, one good kill to enter this bomb site with, and the round could be done very fast here. Udat shot on the other side. All right, he's gonna get one kill. Awesome, overwhelmed, but actually somehow gets a double anyway. That's kind of surprising. Wezo holding the smoke. That's really important. 2 versus 2 now with the bomb planted and a very winnable round all of a sudden for Egypt. Grenades can land down on top there. Tagging up Exa just a little bit. And he's going to actually get close enough. It's now 1 versus 1. Picks up the AK instead, and that should level the playing field a little bit here. But that bomb defuse, how are you going to get that right here? Oh, with a headshot. That's how he does it. Huge clutch coming out, and South Africa going to be on the board.
Yeah, massive 2 kills to his name, also to Awesome as well. From my understanding, also the IGL towards this team, and a really, really good kind of leadership from him. Good retake, played well, and of course the first true gun round between both of these two sides, and it ends up in South Africa's favor. So for them, massive one to be taking. It will mean that money's a little fickle over towards Egypt. Don't really have too much of an opportunity to buy here, so we probably see, I'm going to say a low buy, but they're actually going to force into. Now, this is a bit of a brazen call. We've got a double AK Sure, then a double Mac 10 and a Tech 9. When they had about just above sort of 2K on the vast majority of players in, normally you just low buy this, buy next, or maybe Hero AK. That's been very popular these days. One person Hero AKs, rest of the team low buy, and then worst case scenario, he's on the like of a Galil in the next round, and it's not the end of the world. But this is a big call. We're going to go for a full force buy here for Egypt. Lose this, you not only lose the lead, and the game becomes tied at 2-all, but because your money's broken, South Africa probably just take a lead. And on the CT side, that's pretty important. This map is currently in the region of about 57, 58% T-sided, right? So you want to be taking bare minimum of a lead. I normally say 7 to 5 on the T side. For me is the handshake, where I think both of them can be pretty happy with it. Yeah, lose this round for Egypt could be pretty dire. We'll see, though. A bit of a tentative start here for Egypt in this early part of the round. Early bit of util. How did it look? Tried to bait out some sort of a fight, but South Africa really aren't giving them anything. The only issue is, though, XE needs to continue to hold this, because if he doesn't, his teammate could fall and he won't be able to trade. Thankfully, smoke comes down. That's it.
Yeah, but they might just use that smoke as like a setup. Yeah, they're going to flash and Molotov their way through. Molotov doesn't really go onto the platform in the back here, so still a pretty good chance of it. Nice defense. Slash with a very quick double kill. B2K gonna get found as well. I like the attempt from Egypt. Like, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, the benefit of the CCs throwing that smoke for you is that you can set up the flashes really well. Like, you just kind of like set it up on the other side. But it wasn't enough. And now, because of the force-up, and because nobody really dies on the CT side, they're gonna have so much money to work with, right?
Yeah.
They've stolen 2 AKs. They're going to have probably more or less of a free round here. So, like, this has actually turned into a brilliant start for South Africa all of a sudden.
This is the big issue I sort of had with the force by there. I'm not a fan of it. I think a Hero AK at the very most is where I would go. But because you don't get a conclusive buy across the board, again, it comes back to the conversation we sort of always have about what Counter-Strike is at the pro level. It's percentage-based, and I think your percentages there are very low. It's the same reason why I don't like force buying CT pistol after you lose your CT pistol, right? Because the percentages are so low. Either way, diving in towards mid. Tristan going to be tested here. Bit of damage. Molotov will come down and try and stop them, and it will actually force them into some awkward fights. Round this corner, only the one casualty, and a shot down in towards mid. Nothing getting off the ground there. Deadshot gets low, but only the one casualty on towards Tristan. Not too bad at all. South Africa take a lead. And a pretty good position for them to be now as well in terms of this lead. We're talking about where Egypt coming towards this bye, and there's a lot more pressure on this buy. You lose this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about South Africa getting maybe even 5-2, pushing towards 6, 7. And before you know it, that's where things become really awkward.
Yeah, I mean, and look at the money on the CT side, right? They've got so much to work with. So they have, like, way more of a buffer to play around with here. 3-2 the scoreline, and we'll see if Egypt can kind of get things back on track. Like, they're playing like a team with a lot of confidence still. Like, you can see they're not afraid to take any fights. We'll see if South Africa can take that out of them, if Egypt can kind of get slowed down. But, you know, you win fights like that, if you're alone, you're thinking, all right, this is why we want to play one foot in front of the other. Like, just really try and see if we can just absolutely take all the momentum away from them. I respect it a lot, but it can be hard to keep that going if you're losing the rounds.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true indeed. Early nade gets dropped as well, just outside of dark here, and B2K takes a lot of damage. And Westo and FaZe all taking damage too. Actually puts them quite vulnerable in the sense of their one-bullet headshots or an M4 or a bit of body spam, and that's exactly what happened. Slash gets another. B2K going to get caught. He was already low, though. More look towards Westo and FaZe, who, for them, already tagged to in around 70 or less. And I think in that sort of position where you're one-bullet headshot to an M4, it's very risky how you want to fight. You don't want to overface too much. You don't want to give them the chance to one-tap.
About 40 seconds on the clock here, and Awesome has to stay alive. He is the only defender at the bomb side, and they're walking up. If they were a little bit faster behind there, he would have been caught, and I think the round is almost certainly over. But now it's a kind of a tough choice here. Some of your players are a little bit tagged up. The bomb is going to get planted. Do you want to go for the 4-on-4 retake? I guess you have the money to try for it, but it is risky.
Wow. That's all they have. And they're not even using it as well. The flash hasn't been used. They're just fighting dry. This is a bold call to be taken here. not even trying to give them preferential fights. Now the numbers is advantage. Wesso spotted in towards back cake. Down he goes. Oh no, it's Bingo actually gets caught. Wesso is still sort of alive here.
Yeah.
In towards main, it's Carnage as they're trying to get the retake on. They don't have a smoke, so they've got to take fight, and this could actually work. They could just stick this. They've got to stick this, and the fights will be successful. Slash, good kill, alone falls, and they've got just about enough time to get this retake off. That will be another round for South Africa, and another unfortunate failed round for Egypt, which will sort of extend this CT lead.
Yeah, a very interesting kind of scenario there. I think maybe Egypt also just got caught off guard by how quickly they were on it on the South African side. But it certainly seemed to me like the post-plants, like there wasn't a lot of setup where they could trade kills or anything. It was like very much one by one. And yeah, that's not going to cut it. So maybe they just didn't have time. Like, yeah, the bomb is being planted as they're getting attacked. So that's probably why like they're never really getting into like a good system where they can communicate around it. That's a bit rough because otherwise Egypt did a good job. But South Africa, they're back in style. That's really sick. And again, it cost them quite a bit, right? Like two players alive at the end. Yeah. But they had the money to lose those players, so they're still going to be okay. Yeah,
bomb plant will give them a little bit of cash, but it's just not enough to truly buy here. We get one Mac 10 out for alone, and then the rest it's a couple of Mac 10s, and then the rest is Tech 9. It's just an awkward situation for Egypt. This is the sort of rinse and repeat cycle. It's force buy in, fail, and then sadly they don't really have too much to work with. Awesome.
Oh, this is going to be an all-in, right? Like,
yeah. Make sure he gets a reload off, or else he could be in trouble. He could be overwhelmed there.
Yeah, you don't want to be facing up against that kind of an attack. It's a bit of a mid-presence. I'm assuming that Bingo at some point is going to make a call here and say, you know what, I've distracted someone, I've put some pressure on, I've drawn someone in, like I've got somebody's attention. It's Deadshot who's kind of like in that cam position. If he can keep him occupied in the middle, it's all on awesome to defend it alone. So that's probably the part of the mission here, is just to try and see if you could do that. 45 seconds. Yeah, and they're just waiting. He's got no more grenades, awesome. So it's not necessarily easy, and what a start here. B2K takes the kill, and there's Bingo coming in from behind. It works absolutely flawlessly.
And FaZe looks like, I thought for a second he was going to come and join him in towards mid. That'll be a risky fight, but this is looking pretty good. XE going to find one towards Bingo to maybe give them a chance on this retake, but it's difficult. They've got a bit of util to work with, thankfully, but this is not easy.
It's absolutely not, and
they might call it, honestly.
I was going to say, like, it's very risky to push through here. They feel confident, I suppose, and they're going to try and give it a shot, but I would say this is going to be almost impossible. Alone, going to get the kill, and actually he'll finish it off with a strong double there. Yeah, I mean, again, they have a bit of money in the bank. You can justify it, but that is a hard round to win for the CTs.
No, absolutely. I think it just requires just a little bit too much. I mean, I think the second the bomb goes down, 4 versus 3, and you've got one player who's barely alive, I think the percentage way of playing it is just to call it and be like, right, this is not going to happen. If 3 of us stay alive, we can buy no bother. I mean, they've got plenty of money, sure, but I think that's probably just like, we're talking about long-term and make sure you build up stability in the CT side. That, for me, feels like the better player. And these are small things, right, that I think, at a pro level, they, kind of a tier 1 pro level, they've got this sort of understanding where they just know that we've got, like, maybe like a 30% chance of winning this. Do we need to risk this early in the game? Probably not. But there's the other side where, like I said, they have plenty of money left in the bank for South Africa, so they can maybe afford a bit of a risk. And, this is going to be messy. How has Tristan not been cleared? He's going to get away with one. XE going to get one more, but he'll then fall to the flames. A scrappy fight, but it leaves it now on a 2 versus 3 in favor of Egypt as the bomb goes down. And once again, they're isolated. They might just call it again.
I don't know how he lived for the first one there, Tristan, on the entry, but the flashbang against it was godlike. He was blind for such a long time, and I'm guessing everyone else behind him was as well, because they absolutely got destroyed. So, good execute, good power behind it here. Awesome's going to be going down. P2K finding a little bit there, and yeah, it's just going to work out for them. Egypt back online. They're going to tie the scoreline, and even more importantly, they're going to get rid of that money on the CT side. Yeah. So. Yeah, they really needed to do this, I think. They needed this to have a successful first half. These last 2 rounds are super important. Yeah,
maybe I've been sort of indoctrinated by Jame, but in my mind, both of those rounds just then, I'm calling for a save really early at this level and just saying, hey, we've got plenty of time in this half. We're not under any rush at the moment, especially that 2 versus 3 with the bomb down again, and they're isolated. That's the issue for me. It's not actually that's 2 versus 3, because there was a bit of confirmed damage. It's just the fact that they can't actually inherently play together. They're coming from completely different positions where there isn't even a crossfire for them to work with. So they're going to have to fight isolated. They're going to have to be able to find a kill or actually go untraded. And when you don't have the numbers, unfortunately, it's never going to work. All Egypt had to do is play this pack mentality in that round, and they do. So low by South Africa should be Egypt taking a lead. Once over come down, Slash. They'll have to double away. Deagle getting some decent body damage. He gets very close to a kill there. Could be a little scrappy. Macten going to get 2. Looking for 3. He's running out of ammo. Pistol pulled out, and somehow, some way, Exy can't get that trade.
Yeah, what a long fight that was. Great work on the Mac-10, though. Like, that's more money being built. And they stay surviving the round. All right. Could see them, like, jumping in their seats almost there on the Egypt side. Just really, they're really ready to go.
Yeah, and you can really see as well, just for Egypt, they're getting loud and they're getting confident. Yeah. That's exactly what we want to see. I mean, this is kind of one of those things that can help you so damn much, right? I mean, give yourself, you know, a bit of noise and a bit of confidence in terms of your play. So when you win rounds, really actually get in your heads of your opponents too. You know, don't really have 100% clearance about how noise cancelling the headphones are, for example. Sometimes the screams of your opposition, they're not even too far from each other, could leak in, right? And
I think so.
Sort of get in their heads a little bit. All these mind games that we talk about. So for me, honestly, Egypt, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far from them. Getting confident, playing great Counter-Strike, and exactly what we want to be seeing. Question is, though, on the other side, can we get South Africa back up a line? That was low by. Didn't expect a hell of a lot out of it, if we're being completely honest. Maybe a couple of Constellation kills would have been all they really would have expected. But yeah, now we look at them coming back in towards a full buy. What can they do with it? Can they make something out of this?
I'm kind of excited that it is FaZe playing. I think he was tagged. That was Hoffman at the beginning there, but I like that. That's who we saw in the online qualifier.
I was gonna say.
I think that's nice. It's cool to see that they have like the lineup that they kind of were looking for. So that's good news. And he was pretty good when we saw him last. So yeah, 1 round lead for Egypt.
So far, so good. Honestly, 5 rounds T-side is okay so far, but like I said, I probably want to see a T-side take a lead, if I'm being completely honest. That's generally where you give yourself the best chance. I think if you go anywhere 6-all or less on the T side, I think you're in a bit of an awkward spot. So Egypt doing exactly what I need out of them. However, back into a bite. Awesome gets flashed in as well behind that pillar. Doesn't spot anybody creeping out of the smoke. It's a very slow take here via the A main sort of position. They're going to come down as well behind it, alone. He's first point of contact, it seems, and they're all playing very passive at Egypt. They're not tempted to fight behind. They're not tempted to really look in. They're just going to give them this control. If they peek in towards main, they're going to spot nothing, which also, in a sense, is sort of a relay of misinformation. Oh, in they come, though.
Yeah, ready to go. It's going to be Deadshot with the first one. Awesome. Up here on the plateau. He's going to be good for a couple. Actually, almost lands the perfect shot there. Oh, all right through FaZe. That's kind of a disgusting kill. 2 versus 3. Maybe it keeps the hope alive here for Egypt, but they're in some trouble right now, not least because there's only 30 seconds left in the round. So if you want to make a choice, you have to make it quickly right now. Yeah, they're going to go. They've got to rotate over. It's a foot race towards the site, and actually, they will actually get a bit of space here. However, Slash, backside, gets caught back. Platt, Tristan gets traded as well. And now 1 versus 1. Bingo versus Exy. Bomb will go down. He has no clue where he's coming from. And Exy now making noise. This will be relay, surely. Yeah, must have been heard. Bingo will react to it. Swing on that corner. Spam and a find. Bingo delivers. And Egypt get hyped. That's a big one to be taken. A 3 versus 3, 2v2, then 1v1. Egypt convert every single increment of that round. And South Africa now left once again, actually with no money. Their money should be pretty hurt off the back of that. That was their full buy off the back of the eco. Lost round. Buy going to be at the very most forced in with sort of half rifles. Yeah, they got some great energy on the Egyptian side. I've got to say, I really enjoy that. Like, you know, this is what it should be about. Like, that kind of energy you want to bring onto the stage. Get everybody fired up. And Bingo, we mentioned his name at the beginning. We knew he's going to be good, but that kind of a clutch, super, super important for them. 2-round lead now, and the money, again, gone for the CT side. So a really good chance right now for Egypt to take the lead, at least win the first half, maybe even more if you can keep it going. But yeah, it's a nice start, if nothing else. Bingo's going to be winning the opening duel here. And still fighting for the middle. Wesso's going to be able to take care of business. Just Eagles left here on the CT side. Yeah, not expecting a hell of a lot, if we're being completely honest. And Egypt, make light work of this round. They hit my bare minimum, right? They hit that 7. That's all I can ask from them. Anything more would be great. At 8-4, would really give them a lot. You think 8-4, you take a pistol, most likely get the force power target. That's 10-4 at that point. You're already on track to taking this map. So you can see how these small things can fall into place. Deadshot will get 1. It's a consolation
It won't make too much of a difference. It will be yet another round for Egypt. Massive stuff. And flag out there as well. Very cool flag, I have to be said, the Egypt. It's definitely one of those, I think we mentioned in the opening ceremony, it has like a lot of aura around it, the Egypt flag. It's some bold colors, it's cool.
Yeah, personally, I think the any kind of red and black combination, I think
always good.
Always there's something about it is always sick. So yeah, offset with the white in the middle. Good times. 7-4. We're moving into round number 12, the last of the half here in Egypt. A bit of a rocky start, to be honest, but they've certainly made up for it right now. And again, they're playing very aggressive, very assertive. The confidence is not the problem here for Egypt. And they're kind of making good for it as well. Fight in the middle there. Wesso looked like he was getting caught. He was just throwing a grenade, but he wins the fight regardless. Super important.
All right. Slash. First contact in through Dark. Deadshot falling early. That's a pretty big scalp to find. He's been the kind of main man over towards South Africa so far. Awesome. Just an instinct play. The spidey senses are tingling a little bit there, and he'll get his kill. Molotov comes down from Slash. Aptly timed. Don't think spreads on towards B2K, so he should be okay. It looks like they want to be going for a finish up close here by Dark, and they're going to double stack into it. FaZe going to be that first point of contact. What do we see behind it? This is a little janky. They're going to start to make a little bit of a move. Exy as well. Backside might be a chance. I mean, this is a really awkward fight it's going to be taken here, because I just don't know if they expected. Now with the smoke out and the util, they've got to know they're up close.
Oh, again, that's 2 kills on the round, right through the smoke. They recover from this Egypt. Awesome with the backstab. FaZe with the AWP, and suddenly 2 versus 2. But Slash is here to absolutely execute alone. It is just FaZe left, and he's going to go down. Slash with a bit of a recovery here. Good stuff for South Africa. They needed this last round to stay competitive.
They did. And like I said, for me, 7-5 feels like a handshake. I think both teams can be pretty happy with that. Puts a lot of onus on this pistol now as well, right? We're heading in towards this, and if South Africa take it, we're talking about them having, a really decent likelihood of being able to tie the game up. Throws a span in the works. But if Egypt take it, then it could be a 9-5. And that's still very one-sided in itself. But South Africa go on to what is arguably seen as the more preferential side on Anubis. T-side. More teams prefer to play it. You control the tempo, but it is just very puggy in its nature. A lot of fights can be taken really early, and the spawns actually mean that the T-sides get beneficial kind of map control over the CT side. So we'll see. This pistol could be very important. Look at this. Bold move to be making. Already pushing through water, and they're going to spot out A first or nothing, and no contact plays being played. So they've got to know that they're finishing, I'm going to say, over towards where they were, but instead, they're going to wrap all the way in behind. This is, I mean, they've got all the information, but Exy's holding.
Yeah, if he gets the kill, I think it's on. I think they might be just win the round straight away. He actually gets a double. That's sick, and it's a free and open bomb plant, and they're planting, funnily enough, on the most least used side there on the obelisk, right? Like this, far from the default plant. I wonder, they're not positioned amazingly for that bomb, but it might not make a difference because they're winning every single fight. Yeah, this is going to be absolutely fine here. Wow, what a convincing round for the T side.
Yeah, it's beautiful. So they push through B, right, and they go in towards water, and they spot, right, nobody's crossed. We've looked in towards carpets, nobody's there, and we've gone upstairs, nobody's there. But the interesting thing for me is that for Egypt, the other 2 players don't rotate, so the site itself is actually just left open, and no one's able to contest that bomb going down. So that's the biggest issue. I think when Alone pushes in towards water and he spots, fellas, nobody's here, be careful of one of 2 things. On the early pushes, be careful of 2 things. A carpet's popping towards A main, or what is most likely, just a standard B play, right?
Yeah.
But they kind of hedge all their bets on the A play, and it doesn't end up working out for them. And Exy does a really good job in that hold. Going 2 for 1 in what is a 1v3 situation there is massive. That's all you can really ask of him. And more often than not, he probably didn't expect the 3rd player there, if we're being completely honest. Good round for South Africa's sake, and it will mean, of course, it should be a 7-all game here. Full buyout for them, and for Egypt, unfortunately, nothing. But they have gamble stacked B at least.
Yeah, we said this could be a pretty intense game, and I mean, this is the makings of it right now. They're doing a fine job. Actually, USP is doing a hell of a lot more damage than I was expecting. Awesome, yeah, trying to get out. Although the bomb is in T-spawn, so they can't completely run away. They have to stick around a little bit here, trying to see if they can recover the situation. FaZe gets one. It still should be okay. The little sort of bump in the road is the fact that the bomb is back there. All right, now they have a path to pick it up, so good job.
Bingo's low this round. It had a moment where we were like, okay, this could be really expensive, but not to be. Gen G stickers on the Galil, not an org I've seen in CS in a while. Gen G, and that kind of logo in a sense.
It's been a moment, hasn't it?
like 20, maybe like 19, maybe like pre-COVID, I think.
Yeah,
like the last time.
They showed up to playing Flashpoint, basically. And that was more or less it. So and they were out.
Yeah, pretty quickly.
Crazy.
7-0 is where we're at. First full buy going to come through from Egypt on the CT side, and will be a really good indicator, of course, of how this side fare in the gun rounds, in what is technically a bonus buy over to South Africa. Galil coming through, Maxen coming through as well. This one's one where there's still a little bit of onus behind it because they don't have, this fully fledged economy behind it, but it's not the most damning thing in the world if they are to lose it. If they lose it or make it expensive, we take that in itself as a bit of a silver lining, a bit of a small win in that self. If they win this round, though, on what is generally seen as a lesser buy, that would be huge. First contact. Awesome's gone aggro in towards mid. Gets all his controller towards camera. And he's getting information, too.
Slash in, trying to see if they could overpower Slash, and they will be able to. Not necessarily that bad. 1-for-1 trade. At least they get the kill in return there.
Yeah.
Flashbang, I don't know, he must have turned around. He was certainly ready for it, so pretty good job on Slash, to be honest. Mid control for South Africa. Trying to make their way through. Wezo just jiggling the corner, just to spot it out. He's going to get the info that they're coming. B2K having a really hard time disengaging with that one. Nice lineup for Alone. He pulls out the pistol, wants to fight more, and he could have maybe had a shot there. 2 versus 2 now. In 45 seconds, the bomb is going to be planted in this round for sure.
They have really basically no information about where this second player is. They tagged Wezo, and they sort of should have the understanding about him. It's actually more about FaZe. They really won't know where he's coming from. Hence why they're kind of going through the due diligence here, right? Smoking towards main and a molly down in towards connector, but FaZe will find his shot. He pops off, good for one, looks for a second, unable to do so. Tristan thrust now into a 1 versus 1. Both are low. It's first to spot first. It's ring around the roses here. Oh my god, Tristan, he's looking the wrong way and he'll fall. It was all about who spots who first, and Tristan, too many angles to clear, too many places to look, and like a deer in headlights, he just gets caught off guard in that 1 versus 1. A massive one to be taken for Egypt. However, and I'm going to come back to the original point, that was a bonus round for South Africa. They got a bomb plant out of it, made it super expensive. It is still going to have a bit of a knock-on effect towards the economy over on Egypt. So they're still going to have to go in towards what is an awkward buy. I would not be surprised to see South Africa force buy in towards this back again. They don't have a fully fledged economy across the rest, but they've got to know that Egypt's money is going to be a little bit worse aware, or at least their buy is going to be a little bit haphazardly, where we're seeing MP9s, or maybe even in some cases kind of like a Deagle full armor and full util. So in that sense, there could be a temptation to buy here.
I mean,
we'll see it as well.
If not for the double kill on Alone there, he's into 18. If he doesn't get that double, then they don't even get close to that round. So pretty sick work from him. Yeah, here we go. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a faster execute. Very fast, in fact. Double Molotov to the back, but B2K hiding at the edge of the smoke. He's only good for the 1 kill. So, yeah, actually going to be very worthwhile here. Bombs should be planted, and awesome double entry for him. This is working out very well at the moment.
Bomb still needs to go down, and thankfully Awesome is tagged low, down to 23, but he will get that bomb planted. Need as well to deny him off that. Alone going to get his first fight. He's still trying to be a little bit of a nuisance here, and he's still alive somehow. Barely taking any damage. Pop flash will come through. That should catch him, and it will catch. That's a beautiful pop flash. A little bit of an unorthodox one. It will do its job. Wesso nearly gets a second, but actually Deagle spamming to the body will catch him. And that is going to be another round taken for South Africa, and a good one to take as well. Responding off the back of the full buy from Egypt. You lose your bonus buy, you know that they're, in some way, their buy is going to be a little bit awkward, and you make it work for you. It is going to now force out an awkward conversation. However, as they're not in double eco, I would personally, if I'm Egypt here, not buy in as much, right? I would go for a little bit of a lesser buy, and you could maybe even tempt fate. We've got 2.4k loss bonus, especially for bingo. There's a world of, I'm not... Yeah, I mean, if he actually didn't buy the Deagle here, we could be talking about an AWP investment. AWP half armor, no util for somebody, right? He can drop it over or something of the sort. But with his Deagle investment, it probably means no, unless you glass cannon, which obviously we're probably not going to see at this level. So, Heator, it should be South Africa taking a lead here, and now they're starting to spiral quite positively. But this is quite a good back and forth game. There's kind of no clear favor at the moment.
Yeah, it's about picked by South Africa, so, they're certainly proving they know what they're doing. They've got a really good read on everything at the moment. And they've got the economy on their side, so, yeah, everything is kind of shaping up really nicely for them. I actually think for Egypt now, it's going to require, like, a couple of really successful rounds coming up soon for this to turn around. Otherwise, I think it'll be be South Africa who just kind of power through the stage. Huge grenade at the start of this round, and where's so? Nothing he can't do. It's going to be a 9-8.
What can he actually do, if we're being honest? P250, and a hope and a dream for Wesso in this one. But this is most likely not going to get off the ground. Barely even any damage taken by South Africa. It should be absolutely fine for them to lock in this 9th. And actually quite important in a way as well that they don't allow the pistols to get too many kills. Wesso should be caught here. He's being held by Tristan.
Could be, yeah.
And he will. Nice and easy. Flawless round going to come through from the South Africans. Love to see it. It will be the 9th on the board for them. And the fact that it's completely inexpensive is massive. It means they just have that stability in terms of the long-term econ. That's all we want to see. It's something that has actually eluded both of the teams throughout this game, of especially the second half so far. That's a big positive for South Africa. They don't have to worry about funds. They don't have to worry about the buys or anything. So they're sitting on the right. Buy back in for Egypt. We're talking, pretty honestly here. If they lose this, they could be in a lot of trouble. We're talking about South Africa 11-8. That's one more gun round between them taking this map, basically.
Yeah, the gap is kind of closing a little bit here. The window is closing for Egypt to have a real impact. I think these next couple of rounds are probably going to set the pace for it. Alone's been playing super well. Wezo's up there. The rest, they're not really playing badly, but we know that they all three of them can probably have a couple of good rounds here. Now would be the time to do that. So
exactly.
We'll see what they come through with.
Of course, for those only just joining us, our veto so far in towards this game, it says Anubis, Dust 2, and Mirage. Anubis picked by South Africa, Dust 2 picked by Egypt. And if we require it, Mirage, our decider. South Africa went to a 3-map affair against Tunisia, but lost that one out 13-10. They're hoping to take their own map pick, which they're currently on track to do so. Then heading towards Dust 2 with the confidence to maybe be able to snipe away that Dust 2 from them, potentially get the 2-0 similar towards what Tunisia did earlier. I mean, coming in towards this qualifier, it was Tunisia and South Africa who are our two favourites off the rip, and so far playing exactly like it. One spot in towards back Obelisk there, and Deadshot just doesn't stick around. He doesn't need to. That's pretty good kind of patience from him and good discipline. I don't need to overfight. No point giving my life away for nothing. There's no one even here to trade me. Why do I need to? Get smoked out as well, so that'll kind of reaffirm his actions as well.
Yeah, forces out a little bit. There was actually 3 people at the B-bomb site, but so he doesn't get all the information, but he gets a little bit of something, right? Like, he knows at least one player mobile around that obelisk. Yeah, and forces out the smoke. I mean, that in itself is kind of a nice little goal to reach. 50 seconds, and it looks like it's going to be an A finish this time. Slash, probably a little bit confused about how he hasn't seen anyone. Like, this is very, very deep towards dark. He's almost stepping onto the B-bomb site with nobody even being spotted. Oh, what an entry. Phase goes down. Wesso to follow the trades. Keep on going back and forth here. Finally, it goes the way for a minute, but again, they're right back into it. Bomb picked up, 27 seconds, and they're going to try and power their way through. Nice lineup here. Deadshot maybe could have had both of them alone. It's so low on health. He should be going down, and he will be. South Africa with a huge clutch coming through.
Yeah, massive in that 1 versus 1. I'm surprised it doesn't count as a headshot as well. I feel like all we could see was his head. Yeah. But great shot from Tristan. Really nice little reaction. And that will be South Africa putting up another big round on the board for them. 10-8, inching closer and closer to taking their map. And the entries here are already clean. And like you mentioned, the trades as well, right? Exy gets one, traded out. Awesome gets one, traded out. And it's just sort of back and forth like this. But South Africa just had the numbers. And they utilize them so effectively. Really well done. 10-8, there won't really be too much of a buy here from Egypt. So the expectation is that it should be 11-8.
Grenades.
Uh-oh. Just smoked himself out. I thought Alone was going to be in trouble there to the flames.
Yeah, but I think these kind of grenades thrown in a round where the CT side doesn't have a lot, like, that's how you stop yourself from losing these rounds. Like, you try, like, it might seem like you're wasting a lot of grenades, killing people just with pistols, or making life hard on them, but it's so worth it. If you don't do it, you end up in a weird position where suddenly you're the one going down, and you give up an AK, and everything is a bit awkward now. It's the 5-7's back with a vengeance here. 6 shots coming out, and suddenly 3 versus 3. All right, Deadshot trying to hold on to the round. And actually, it's kind of paved the way for a bomb plant, I think.
Yeah, I actually didn't need to fight there. I think he gets a little bit giddy because he wants to trade his teammate. Yeah. But it actually cost him his life, and in doing so, might actually cost him the round as well. Bomb goes down, sure, but it's a temptation here. Deagle, P250, and MP9. It's not the worst buy in the world.
Uh-oh, grenade. Oh, the timing is awkward, but not bad. Deadshot's going to get that kill on the phase. Bingo goes down straight afterwards, and it's a good cleanup. Yeah, a little bit sketchy, a little bit worrisome at one point, but very, very nicely handled. South Africa, they're well on their way. They're doing fantastic work.
Yeah, and they're smiling, they're happy. They know they're giving themselves really good opportunities now to potentially even close this out. And taking your own map pick and then heading into Dust 2 with all this confidence, that's all you can ask of them. So a really good spot that they sort of find themselves in now. 2 rounds away from closing it out. And if we're being completely honest, this is the last hurrah for Egypt. You lose this round, that is it.
Right.
You've got an AWP out, which is great. This is actually the first time we've seen an AWP all game, in all fairness. Picked up by FaZe, but I mean, potentially even a little bit too late on the AWP. It would have been so good in some of these earlier rounds. FaZe, nice shot. Tristan going to get caught, and he goes completely untraded and actually repositions over towards double doors. Standard Molotov set can be utilized here to force him away, but he hasn't got anything. So in a sense, he's probably relaying information over saying, I've got good control here. Perfect nade to break open that smoke. The trade, not quite aptly timed, but XT get on the back lines. He'll get one, then traded himself.
Honestly, like, quite a good play from Exy there. Like, they're going to lose the round if he doesn't do something. If he, in the event that he can sort of swing on and get a double kill, the round is back on. So I appreciate that. But yeah, you're right. Late on the AWP, and now that it's arrived, like, kind of wish they would have had that all along. That's sick.
A couple of rounds ago, they had an AWP. It would have helped them out a lot. I mean, sort of guaranteeing that mid control is so important, and having an AWP is just the easiest way to go about it. So honestly, I mean, for me so far, this is where maybe the tides can start to change a little bit over towards Egypt. However, there's a full buyout in towards the next round for South Africa, and also enough money. Deadshot's got 5.2k plus the sort of 1.4 quote-unquote loss bonus, right? We're talking about the potential of an AWP for him if he'd want it as well. So they might try and fight fire with fire. We haven't seen South Africa AWP at all so far this game. And also, this round's far from over. There's still a world, there's still a chance. 2v4 is definitely odds against them, and it will be as it gets confirmed. Closed out, B2K and Wezo combine. Egypt find a much-needed gun round. That was, like we said, what felt like a bit of a last hurrah. Lose that, and it's probably game, set, and match in towards this map. But that will change things up. I'm really interested to see now whether South Africa try and pick up an AWP themselves. There could be a temptation. They've got money, but no, full rifle, that's all they care about. They are more than happy just to continue wielding the AKs. And for all we know, we didn't get to catch them in the qualifiers. We're not 100% sure. They might not even just really have a primary AWP. It is something that a few teams have done within CS2. We've even seen it at the top tier 1 pro level. Cloud9 for about a year didn't have an AWP, right?
Yeah.
Obviously came back to bite them, but you know, it is something that teams can wield.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially like, you know, at this stage, you've got the AKs. You're going to be much quicker with it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily mind it. I don't hate it. So maybe we get on to like some of the other maps. It could be a little bit more prevalent. It could be that. But I think on this particular map, maybe you're going to be okay with it. All right. 11-9.
Yeah, this is a big round though. South Africa lose this one. And we are talking about probably what's going to be a tied game. Maybe even the potential of an overtime. It is fine margins. FaZe, that AWP going to find yet another opening kill. He's been pretty electric with it. Smoke going to come through. He's going to take pop shots, and I don't really blame him. Nade doesn't do a huge amount of damage, so he's okay. They sort of stick her up, you know, towards his pillar position.
That's so well played. Like, getting the kill and then the cool to stay. Like, don't walk into the shots. He's like never really exposed. Like,
no
it's
panic.
It's very hard to do. Like, sometimes people just completely lose their cool in that moment, and that gets you killed. Wow. Imagine that if the AWP is the game changer here that prevents the victory from South Africa. It feels like maybe it could be.
Yeah, it's really changing the kind of momentum in these rounds, because that's back-to-back rounds. He got an opening kill and goes untraded because they don't have anybody to fight him at range.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. They don't have anybody to post up and be able to catch him, maybe re-peek him back in. Oh my god, slash on timing. Slash on timing. Could get a kill here, and he will. Second round that corner. Can't quite adjust his aim in time, so he'll get traded out. Numbers are alive, but look at the time. 8 seconds. Bomb's got to go down. They've got to be committed. Awesome will commit to it. And there's nobody towards the A site. They all rotate over. Slash is a human decoy, and it worked. They dragged all 4 players from Egypt back over towards B, so it gives them the plant and the post plant.
Yeah, they absolutely Board that. That's something that they're going to be very upset about later on, because this could definitely cost them the entire map here. Awesome's going to go down. Pretty good retake, actually. All things considered, Deadshot's very low on health. They're coming for him here. Nice headshots. He needs another. He gets it. That's a sick clutch. And that puts South Africa very near the brink of winning the map here. I can't believe he won that last fight.
Oh, Deadshot, take a bow. That is a beautiful little 1v2. That tail end plucks one out of the sky, duck hunting from him, and then lines up the second with such low HP. He had like 7 HP or something ridiculous, and he walks away with that round. That is absolutely wonderful. Oh, man. And Slash, so much credit to him. I mean, obviously, Deadshot will take the own. He had 9 points of HP, and he makes this work. That is sumptuous stuff. Bingo just cannot find that one bullet needed. And it's map point South Africa. Huge stuff for them. Oh my. But yeah, I got to give so much credit to Slash. I think he wins that round for them. He drags
pretty much
all off that A side. That is so well played. Alone. It's going to be a tag damage. Hang on a second. Xy's crept through here, and he creeps back and actually forced them to sort of panic throw a smoke, which will sort of work against them. But a lot of kind of onus here in this round. I mean, for Egypt, they've got a full buyout fine, but there's no more room for error.
A bit of a peek outside of the B-bomb site for the CTs, so that then they're aware no one's out here. The bomb is on the other side. I mean, I guess they could catch Deadshot in the middle if they keep going, and they are. They're still pushing out, so huge mission coming out right now for Bingo on alone. 1 kill won't cut it. They still need FaZe on this side to kind of stand tall. Oh, he was creeping back. If he had stuck around, he has that kill 100%, but instead the MAC-10 will run them down. FaZe and Wezo both in the grave, and now it's alone and Bingo. They were flanking, so they know exactly what's happening here, South Africa. In a good position, means they're low on health, and Awesome goes down. Bomb plants it here, but look at what's left there. 13 and 14 health.
They're low. Bingo isn't exactly healthy himself. This MAC-10 actually is probably the perfect thing for this situation. Running and gunning around this corner. Jumping and gunning is bold, though. Bingo gets one. Alone gets one more. Game far from over. Still a little bit of life left in Egypt. They are far from dead as they make that 2 versus 2 work. They were so low. 13 and 14 points of HP between the two South African players. Needed at least that first fight to go well, and then somebody just to completely tuck, not fight, not give any sort of a way for Egypt to get back into it, and then essentially hope that...
I mean, to be honest as well, like, one of the big deciding differences that round is the fact that FaZe just decides to, like, step away from the angle. Just, like, otherwise, 100% he has to kill, and it's a very different round. But, yeah, good job. I mean, like, they stay in the map. That's really all we care about here. I thought it was going to be over at this point, right? 3 versus 4. Double MAC-10 kill center, like, that should have been it, but... Now there's a chance for overtime.
Yeah, low buy from South Africa, so we are going to get the full 24, unless some of the things go completely awry. The one issue that I'm having with South Africa right now is the one thing they need to plug, in all honesty, is they're not... When they take this fight against the AWP, no matter what angles they're peeking into, they're dry peeking it. It's never going to work, right?
True.
Every single time we've seen them fight, in towards mid, twice in towards B main, they're basically just fighting him dry, and he's obviously winning that fight out because there's no pressure on him, right? You know, at range, that swing is never going to affect him. This naked chunk them. Yeah, bye-bye, Deadshot. Gets caught. A lot of damage there as well, dealt towards Flash. This round feels like a non-starter in terms of the buy, and it might be now that they're already down to 4.
Yeah, they're trying to get their way through the middle instead. They're kind of giving up on this A or the B projects. Wezo, though, absolutely locking it down. No problems with the MP9. So, yeah, the adventure is kind of over this round. 11 to 12, like you said, all 24 rounds. It's not bad. Alone has got 27 kills. Outrageous. He's carrying so much of this.
He's loving life. It's spread quite evenly across Africa, which I guess, if we're thinking about this in a more long-term sense, that's probably the better way to be. But, you know, you can't complain about Alone playing as well as he has. And I think FaZe actually really come alive since at the AWP. In a really slow first half. He was single digits all the way up until a few rounds ago with it. And since that AWP came into play, it's really elevated him a little bit.
Yeah, he's had a big impact all of a sudden.
That's it, though, right? Round of 24. Can South Africa close it out, or are they going to have the problem that we saw with Tunisia against Morocco, where they just cannot seem to see it on this map as well?
Yeah.
It just seems to be the curse or the blessing, depending on how you see it, about Anubis. Goes the distance, got the life left in it, and potentially even overtime is part of the parcel.
T-side, very apprehensive at the start of this, which I totally get, right? Like, you want to take a moment here just to figure out, like, where are they going to show up? Like, what's going on? Like, make sure you're not getting pushed anywhere. So, yeah, I like this. Just relax for a second. And let's see how this plays out. Still a minute on the clock, so plenty of time. Double setup towards dark for Egypt. Not necessarily bad. A little bit more flexible, like you can turn it into a bit of a push if you want to. Wow, they're really waiting for it here. South Africa, they're so sure that Egypt are going to try something.
Yeah, it's very, very patient. B2K, he'll probably be that first point of contact. He doesn't need to peek. I think if he swings, he dies, right? It's all about, actually, whoever peeks first normally loses in this situation. Nice timing on the Molotov, though. That'll slow things down. This is a nice little 1-2 punch. B2K is so tempted, isn't he? Wants to fight. They're going to dry peek this again, though, South Africa, and it's not going to work out. They love these dry peeks. It's not the right way to play it. B2K gets a double, and he's still alive as well. They'll know that. Alone does get caught. A nade will come down. This will bank off, and it should catch a lot of damage, but he's somehow still alive. 4 points of HP. Bomb going to try to go down, and will, in all fairness. B2K's got a really good angle. He might be able to catch another.
Slash is on the flank, though. He's actually walking right up past the mid. His teammates need to live, though. That's the issue. There we go. Slash with the kill. Deadshot gets another one. They might be saving this at the brink. Egypt, they thought they had overtime. They had the man lead. Everything was going their way, but it might be all for nothing. The crossfire should be enough here. FaZe gets one. Flash around the corner here. He's running it close, and he gets a headshot. It's unbelievable. Egypt, they had no business bringing this back, but they will into overtime.
I cannot believe he gets away with that. I thought Slash had played that well, and actually, I think he does, right? Because he throws the flash, and he hears it hit him, so he knows he's close. That's why he swings. It's the right way to play it. He just misses the shot, unfortunately, and he gets headshot on the other side. Simple, fine margins, and we go for more. Overtime required here in map number 1, and it just seems to be the blessing of Anubis. More than 24 rounds needed every single time, and I thought they'd had it as well. So look, he banks it off, it hits him directly, so that's why he swings. But
yeah, he
just gets caught by FaZe. Really well played. What a game we're getting here. Still that small issue. The only issue really that I've seen with South Africa that's glaring is the dry peaks. They're so happy to fight going dry, which it's good as a gimmick. It's not good as a consistent factor. They caught them off guard there. B2K got a double for free.
Yeah.
Bingo picking up the AWP as well. Double AWPing now for Egypt. They're changing it up in overtime.
That's pretty interesting. Very hard to retake with the double AWP, but I mean, if you get the kills to start with, then it doesn't really matter. You're never even going to need to retake anything. So, I'd say it's risky, but might pay off.
Tristan going to AWP on his side. First time we see South Africa AWP. Maybe a little late into the game, but is it going to be enough? Awesome. Nice find. Bingo will fall. Second behind it. Awesome gets pretty damn close. He nearly gets caught on rotation.
They're trying to split this A-bomb side. Deep Molotov on towards the cake. Really putting some pressure on the EWP that's down there. Tristan's a nice shot. You can see FaZe, the entire left side is burned out. He can't go there. And Awesome's closing the gap on the other side. So was briefly a 2 versus 4, but B2K's got one of the kills, trying to fight his way back. There's another one, grenade dunked on Awesome, and suddenly we're back into a 2 versus 2. The bomb planted. Tristan with the back here, or actually in front with the AWP, so one chance for it. Misses the first one. Let's see. Yeah, Molotov might be a better choice to close that little bit of distance behind him. He swings wide, and he should have maybe had that kill. I can't believe that Tristan's still alive, but 1 versus 2 alone, trying to clutch it out. He gets one, spots the second, but can he get him up from behind the pillar? He's running out of time, and he can't. Slash will win it.
Oh my God, that is close. The age-old classic as well, Anders, right, where you kind of choke out in regulation, you go to overtime, you win the round that you needed to win in regulation every single time. But happens in South Africa, they will find 13 and keep themselves in a somewhat strong position here. They get that lead, and now it's about can they continue it. You know, if you can go 2 for 1, I think, on the C side, I think you're, for the most part, in an okay spot. And less, though, might be a little bit problematic. Egypt back in towards the buy. This time not double AWPing either. It's going to be that solo AWP with just on the back of FaZe. AWP was scooped up the end and dropped back over towards Tristan.
1 round. South Africa, they've been in before, but they need to keep it going. That's a very nice shot. My God, they've shut down. That's a 3-man push coming out. How do you hit that AWP shot to begin with? That's really nicely done. Egypt didn't see a lot of flashbangs coming over. That might have been the big problem in that kind of a push, because they had the manpower to do it.
Literally 1 shallow flash there, pop through the smoke, and bang. We're talking about like a perfect, at least getting 2 out of the 3 at a bare minimum, making that somewhat of a doable push. But, I mean, again, this is the issue that we called over towards Africa, and the issue now that we kind of relay over on the other side of these dry peaks. They're great as gimmicks, right? When they're used every now and again, or like lurking plays. People like Remind, I think, is probably a great example of it over towards Tunisia, where he goes for these dry lurks, no util, because you don't want to show any presence. You want to be a little bit of an elusive character in that sense. But in these instances where we're seeing these like consistent dry peaks come through and pushing smokes like that, you are just naturally at a disadvantage. And it comes down to the age-old thing that we always talk about, which is just percentage Counter-Strike, and that is the case there. 14 for South Africa. Inching ever closer. The number we're looking for is 16 here in overtime. And if they can go 3 for 3 on T-side OT, that might be job done. They didn't really have a terrible CT side, and it feels like they've kind of woken up a little bit towards this OT now.
Alone has got 30 kills. Like, he's doing so much work at the moment, but it's South Africa that's pulling ahead slowly but surely. You're right though, like a third round here for the getting all three on the T side. I mean, that's gonna set them up very nicely. We'll see how it plays out. No more double up on the CT side. They obviously cannot afford that, but headed into it here. Wezo, good damage at the start, just tagging up Awesome a little bit on the other side. That was on here.
Yeah, double stack it. B2K, he's holding the smoke, and he's basically just there for if Plat gets mollied, he'll smoke, but actually then the boost will be above the smoke, so it actually ends up working in your favor. It's a real kind of win-win sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Either way, if there's a Molotov that's there, they're happy to. And if there's not a Molotov, then you just peek dry. And then the second you take any contact, you can drop a smoke that maybe even help you escape. Slash, hold till Wezo's over peak, and it'll delete him. That's a fight they'll take every day of the week. South Africa say thank you.
Yeah, they try to flash him in, but I'm guessing it's a very hard flash to hit, because if it goes a little bit too far, then he's just hidden by the corner on the other side. Nice shot from Bingo, taking on Slash. They really need this round. Egypt is super important that they pick this one up to have a bit of a platform for the second half that's coming up of the overtime. Back towards the B bomb side again. We'll see if that boost is going to work out for them. There are a couple of grenades, no Molotovs to be thrown into the corner, so that's not going to be the main issue, but yeah. Oh, there's a third player here as well. Are they going to be ready? They kind of had the idea, but it wasn't enough here. Awesome and Deadshot in some trouble. Flank, 25 seconds. He's running through the middle. The bomb is lost here. This is almost an impossible clutch for him to try and win. Yeah, literally. I mean, 20 seconds. He's got to go through the flames here as well. A lot of damage under 30 points of HP. Surely, GG. I say that, though. Also going to find one. He's going to now push through as well. 12 seconds, but he gets caught by B2K. So, a sigh of relief. Not the worst in the world. 1 for 2 on CT side. It sort of makes sense on a T-sided map. But now we've got to see what Egypt can do when they're heading towards this next half. They'll go going towards the T-side. South Africa is still advantage in their court. 2 away from the number of 16 that we're looking for. But Egypt now back on towards the T side. That's maybe where they might do a bit more of their best work. They went 7 for 5 in that first half. Same exact thing that South Africa did. So in the same way that South Africa went 2 for 1 there, you could maybe expect Egypt to do more of the same. And especially now that they got the AWP in play. I'm interested to see what the T side AWP is looking like. We didn't see it at all in regulation from the T side of Egypt. So I want to see what they've really got on their locker. It might be something that actually could elevate them a little bit more here. I mean, he looked very confident, FaZe, taking some funny fights there. So, yeah, why not try and open up the map using that? First team to 16 is what we're looking for now in overtime. Had a good start. Awesome. He's taking down the star player of Alone right now, who is miles ahead of his teammates. It's got to be said again, like, he really is. So getting rid of him, big deal.
Yeah, it's a massive kill to find early. Over 10 kills more than anybody kind of near him, right, on his team. And
nice grenade.
A little bit awkward, yeah. Decent damage beat out. Westo and FaZe both going to be tagged up pretty heavily there, but now they realize about not peeking. There's no point actually pushing there.
If they can win this round, South Africa, they at least secure double OT, right? Like, even that is a little bit nice. You're like, all right, okay. You know, now we can focus. We know we've done this much. True. Gives you a little bit of freedom.
The issue is, as you saw Tunisia, that happened like so many times. How was it? It was like 10 match points they had, right? And I think sometimes teams just get way too comfortable when they have it, and it kind of flips the other way. So it sometimes works against you.
That was so bizarre, wasn't it? Like, I've rarely seen it like that's so many match points. I don't know who holds the record, but
it's got to be 10 match points lost out. It's crazy.
Oh, here we go. Back into it, maybe.
Westo left B2K there over towards mid, and they just stopped peeking, and it might actually work in their favor. I say that, though. Ekti and Slash going to get one apiece.
Great timing on the peaks. Only 15 seconds left. The bomb is lost on the side. There's nothing you can do to win this. It's way too far away. He can't find all the kills, and he certainly cannot plant the bomb. So no chance, unfortunately. Great defense. Like the timing for the two B anchors to be peeking there was absolutely flawless. Well done.
If B2K just relayed over to the team, guys, just please don't execute for like, just give me 5 seconds. Let me just get in behind and then go for execute. Then that is an incredible play. But the timing is off between the two of them, and that's actually the costly thing. If B2K tells them to hold, just wait. So even look here, right? He's still got a massive rotate to be taken over from mid.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, barely coming out of mid at the point in which they're already executing on towards the site and getting kind of mowed down. At least, right? If he's flanked it behind, worst case scenario, he just dies, but he gets information, right? There's one guy over towards connector, but yeah, I just think unfortunately the comms or the timing wasn't quite there. South Africa, map point on their map pick, exactly what they want. Egypt playing for double OT. They need to go 2 for 2 here to do so. It's going to require something.
Yeah, they need back-to-back rounds where this just works for them. The clean entries, the bomb plants to follow. They can't really make any mistakes here. Awesome. It's going to be the first point of contact on the CT side. It's a great lineup for him. They probably should have been a double right then and there. Alone is the first to go down again, but they will find Awesome. He did a lot of damage onto Wesso. And already South Africa trying to do this retake before the bomb is even planted. They want to fight to the very end. Exa and Slash 2 versus 3. They plant just in that fishtail of the bomb site. Tough retake on this one, to be honest, but you might as well go for it. You got the money.
Yeah, exactly. Not exactly like you under too much pressure. There's one guy back K. They've got to just clear the open player. That Molotov will do it. Okay, there we go. West going to call quarter flames. FaZe will fall. 1v2. Now a chance as well. Trade not exactly there. Bingo does manage to dip away, but a smoke on towards not actually the bomb itself. Now, it could work against them. Could be a little bit exposed here. Flash comes over. The tap, not quite there. The fight will go in favor of Bingo. Egypt stay alive. And somehow, South Africa unable to close out that round. I think the smoke goes a little bit too shallow, so he's not confident, actually, about sticking that defuse. If it had gone on the bomb, he might have gone for it. But I think there's just a world in which, because of where that smoke's angled, they can cross into his back pillar, and he's exposed. So he knows he actually has to take a fight there, and it works against him.
I'll say this, that the flashbang makes it work so well, right? Because when he throws the flashbang over, Bingo has to peek. He has no idea if he's tapped the defuse in the middle of it, so he has to swing for it. Like, Slash, in his mind, he's like, he knows he should have won that. Like, the setup for it, I agree the smoke was a bit off, but, like, the flashbang is, like, that forces the move on Bingo's side. He has no choice but to do it. So
it full blinded him too, right? That's why he dipped in towards main. He was completely out of there.
That's a really cool idea, but, man, not this time. Might be going to double overtime. I'm shocked. Like, it's a good retake for South Africa.
Yeah.
They pretty much did everything right up until the end, but it's Bingo to help out. Trying to catch up with Alone a little bit. It's a good job.
All right. Nate will break open that smoke. Awesome. Another opener for him. Great work. He's been getting quite consistent openers through main there, and it's working for him. And the great thing is that he's not overextending. Finds his kill, dips away. Knows he has the util belt to work with to slow things down, and knows that there's no point losing the man advantage in this situation. And also, there's no more information behind it. Nobody came in to trade, so surely a relay back over towards B.
Look at the grenades on Egypt's side. Like 4 on 5, sure, but man,
look at a post plant.
These entries have got to be really crisp as well. There's not a lot to really set them up. Slash got to be worried that the smoke doesn't run out there. They have to go for it, but there's a flank coming in. Dead shot shooting Wesso before they even get onto the site. Disastrous for Egypt. That might be the end of it. That flank is so sick, and Bingo, he surely can't pull them out again. He's clutched it time and time again. He's ready. No. It's a 1 versus 4, and he's brought it down now to 1 versus 1. He nearly gets it, but he's not enough. Awesome to save the day and save South Africa from going to double OT. That is a very, very close round there, but a win at the end.
Yeah, my God, at one point, it looked like Bingo might have been able to bail them out again. Not to be this time. South Africa will take their map pick. They will take Anubis, but it did require overtime to get there. What a game. These two sides seem pretty evenly matched, and Dust 2 could be more the same. Of all the series that we've had, this one has the feeling that it actually could have 3 maps behind it. These two sides, in terms of the individuals, in terms of the gameplay, the strategic side behind it, very, very evenly matched. I'm excited to see what comes forward in towards Dust 2, our next map, and maybe whether that Mirage Decider is going to be needed. But for South Africa, that's a massive side relief. Our map pick, our advantage in this veto, we've taken it. No matter Dust 2, no matter about overtime ASA or anything of the sort, all they care about is they have taken the map that they've picked into and the one that they're kind of come in prepped for. So that's all that they would really want. They can't complain.
Yeah, really, really well done. I think right towards the end of the map here, we really got like a taste of what Bingo is all about.
Sure.
It felt like if he'd playing a little bit more like that from the start, it might have been enough to tip it in favor of Egypt instead. Like, he had some insane clutches towards the end there. So, pretty cool to see. But, yeah, it just wasn't quite enough this time. Good start to the series. I've got to say, like, it could be a bit of a banging match, this one. It already is, but, you know, the other maps, I'm sure it's going to be interesting and close. Yeah,
the cool thing is that I think for us, we saw really how Egypt actually woke up a little bit. They started a little bit slow in some sense. I know they got that 7-5 half, but for the most part, it was very scrappy, and they weren't really sure. It was basically a one-man show, right? It was all alone, doing everything. But the fact that now we're getting other players in this team, B2K had a real couple of moments, especially towards tail end of the regulation and in towards overtime, showcase just how good he can be in sort of these lurk positions. So the fact that we've kind of got all of these sort of things working out now for Egypt, it could give them a chance heading in towards Dust 2. But at the same time, late in towards that game, Tristan picked up the orb. They look good with it. So these are the advantages maybe where South Africa, on a map like Dust 2, could have an advantage.